What's going on, everyone? So I made a video yesterday about Xbox having a hybrid high-end uh, PC console coming next generation. What I want to also say too is that's also going to be a higher end option. Because let me clarify this at the beginning, because there's a lot of people that are wondering if it's going to be like $1,000 Xbox console and all that. And I know Phil Spencer said that when the Pro came out, he doesn't see them trying to sell $1,000 Xbox, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this machine would be like 700, 800 bucks. It wouldn't be 1,000. There's going to be a higher end model, and then there's going to be a cheaper tier. I don't believe that there's just going to be one option. No, I think there's going to be multiple options right out the bat. That's my thing with this. And then a lot of people were wondering, will there be free online if they go that route? I think that they could possibly do that. And then if you want to play games online, or like meaning like Game Pass and stuff, you could just get Game Pass and have that as an option. But if you're playing like a free to play game, you're not going to need online to do that. I think they're going to scrap that, and whatever games you own already have, you could just play that already. But if you want to like obviously play something on Game Pass, you play for the Game Pass tier because that's just like a Netflix tier, you know what I mean? So that's the route that I see them going. And in this video, he actually confirms what I said. Also, basically bringing up Jez's article as well too, and giving people more of an update because he made that video a couple months ago, but now he went in and has more information in this video. So we're gonna deep dive into that. And all those people that were saying Xbox is dead is actually just being ignorant, and that literally comes from the pony base. That means you can't get online, it's shutting down, and it's over. That's never going to happen because Microsoft has too much money. The future is digital, stream, and cloud. Literally. So I think that people have a narrow-sighted point of view and they're stuck in like a 360 uh PS3 generation where they think it's more about hardware and just exclusives that you're selling on there. That's not the future. The future is what's more important everywhere else. Like I said, Microsoft software is still going to be very good. You can play the first party games day one, not only on Xbox, but also on PC, and they're allowing it on handheld devices. The cloud is getting way better. So you see what I'm saying? All those aspects of gaming are important because that's what you're actually playing, and you have other options. So it's not just about it being only on the consoles that they're selling, but you could do this on a high-end gaming PC, and then on the cloud, and then on multiple other devices are coming in the future. So we have to look at a bigger picture than that, rather than looking at it at a narrow-sighted point of view because their hardware sales are this right there. That's all temporary stuff, and that's just like only a one-dimensional aspect. Because if you look at what Sony's doing, Microsoft's first party is better than theirs this year for what they're giving you in totality. Their Game Pass service is better. Their cloud service is better. And I thought the Series X was a better console than PlayStation 5. But now they have the PS5 Pro being the most powerful console, and that's fine. But still, if we look at all the other options, Microsoft gives you better value as a gamer because I'm combining it with PC. I can do what I can with the Xbox on PC and get all that value day one and not have to pay much. And you can even get like Xbox Game Pass for cheaper discounts. Sony locks you on their ecosystem. You can't get PSN cards on a gray market or anything like that. So I think that Microsoft is more friendly and beneficial to the gaming community than Sony. They are. Sony's just selling hardware and they get over supported by a blind fan base that doesn't look at all the nonsense that they're doing this generation. They're blowing so much. Getting in bed with the wrong stuff. Concord was trash. Uh, Naughty Dog missed a whole generation. They had to delay the Gas Rush titles that were failing because Jim Ryan made stupid moves. They've made a lot of mistakes. They're overcharging for a $700 machine. They said that they were going to give you only exclusives at the beginning, then they end up doing crossplay. They're copying a lot of Microsoft's methods. Can you believe that? Come on, cloud service. Come on, reforming PS Now to be like Game Pass, but not being as friendly. Charging $69.99 for games, but it's not benefiting the games at all. They're doing a lot of things where it's just like, yeah, you're taking a lot of Microsoft's methods, just like you got their party chat method and their online method of charging for online and putting games on there. So yeah, let's just admit some mistakes that they made. They copy a lot of Nintendo methods too, and give credit where it's due because I think it's very hypocritical on the PlayStation fan base when they sit there and they bash them for two generations. And then when it's Sony's turn to get corrected because they make a lot of mistakes, but because they won that digital carryover in the PS4 generation, they're able to get away with a lot of stuff right now. Whereas like if they would have did that last gen, they would have been screwed big time. But that doesn't mean that what they're doing is not bad. No, they're making a lot of stupid mistakes. And I think Microsoft's are doing a lot of good things. But the thing is that that carryover is hurting them big time. So that's something I kind of wanted to correct with people. No, Xbox isn't dead. It's far from being dead, and it's going to be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just fanboy talk. So let's get into this video and let's see how things work here.
Plans to completely change the games industry next generation by offering more power, more choice, and more games than any other console in history. Xbox has already expanded beyond the console, and Xbox has a plan that will offer the best looking games and more graphics power on a box no one expected.
It's the best thing for them to do. It has to be happening. I believe this very likely.
This is Colt Eastwood. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Windows Central's Jez Corden talking about third-party OEM powerful Xbox consoles. A lot of what we'll be discussing here is directly from his article. It's linked in the description. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content. And let's talk about Xbox's future and a very powerful console. Windows Central Jez Corden reported on an unorthodox approach to lead the console market with more users and even higher subscriptions to Game Pass without relying on an Xbox console. But by using an Xbox console made by Samsung or Razer, Jez Corden explained, as we head into 2025, Xbox mostly won't have console exclusives going forward, but it may not even matter. Increasingly, PlayStation is bringing its games to Steam, and Valve is about to let manufacturers build consoles based on its OS, which will be full of PlayStation's games and Xbox games. Xbox and even other console users are going to need a way to preserve their games beyond the restrictions of a console that dictates access to ownership. The only true platform that keeps your purchases indefinitely is PC. Xbox knows this, and they are working with major brands to change what an Xbox console is.
Yeah, so you're not going to have to worry about that. There's no way they would allow that to happen. That's why you're going to see the hybrid aspect. Everything you have right now will still be on that next-gen console, and you'll be able to have higher specs to increase your backwards compatibility. That's another thing they do a lot better. Now you see Sony doing that too. So we see all these methods that Sony takes with them, just like they have the Bungie method going with Destiny, but that's Microsoft's studio. And then with Call of Duty rights, they just took all their methods because Microsoft shot themselves in the foot and allowed them to run with that. So like I said, when you really look at that company and then locking all their games, they're kind of overrated. They're not better than Microsoft, to be honest with you, like, or Xbox. Yeah, I don't agree with that. They just lock a lot of games there and don't allow other people to play them. But with this method, I can guarantee you they're working on that right now. There's just no way for anyone to ever worry about that because they wouldn't do that. That'd be absolutely stupid. That's the point of having Xbox be available everywhere. And they are going to be partnering with other OEMs to make sure that that hybrid aspect is happening. So you're going to get what they make, the Xbox, and Windows is already on everything that those other OEMs are using, and they're just going to integrate that into a hybrid option along with the other Xbox. I think that's going to be there too. So I highly expect that to happen with being able to have PS5 exclusives right there available. And if their system's more powerful, you'll be able to play those old PlayStation games with a better backwards compatibility system that they have. It's a genius idea, and it has to be the method that they have to try because I think this is the best way.
But will Xbox make a conventional Xbox console? Yes. Will they also have Xbox consoles available without the logo on them? Believe it or not, yes. Jez Corden says, instead of there being fewer Xbox branded devices sold next gen, there will be more than ever. But they might not all be built by Microsoft or Xbox themselves.
Yes.
All of the Xbox hardware and platform teams right now answer to Sarah Bond, and she is in charge of the Xbox Everywhere strategy. Below Sarah Bond is Jason Ronald, who is now known as Vice President of Next Gen. Jason is in charge specifically of executing the new Xbox hardware ecosystem from first party. However, there is another individual that the Xbox community rarely talks about who actually leads Xbox's hardware ecosystem. Rowan Sones came to Xbox a couple of years ago. Jez Corden explains that Sones is a 22-year Microsoft vet and was...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's cool. So, yeah, they have her, and they have the other guy stepping it up. So, and then they have more partnerships coming around the corner. So, yeah, definitely expect some very interesting ideas coming. This is why they're skipping the mid-gen and they're focusing more on this, which I think is smarter to get more prepared for a better option. Because the mid-gen is just not worth it right now. Definitely all these unfinished games, rushed out nonsense, stupid freaking political correctness, pronoun boot camps, and this just dumb stuff. It's just not a good move.
Was previously Microsoft's Windows OEM lead, responsible for developing partnerships between Microsoft and PC manufacturers like Dell, Lenovo, Asus, and the Steam Deck. Rowan sees the value of games being powered by more than just one piece of plastic, especially in an era where $200 or $300 million video game budgets do not see a return on investment when selling just a few million copies. Before you assume that this is just an Xbox or Microsoft problem, remember Hiroki Totoki, the lead of Sony and PlayStation, has expressed that the PlayStation is not enough and that they want to put their games wherever there is compute. And game budgets have ballooned so far to necessitate even the mighty brand PlayStation putting their games on PC as soon as possible. Jez Corden reported that Rowan Sones was specifically brought in to help forge Xbox's future, which increasingly looks a lot more like Valve and Steam than PlayStation and Nintendo. At CES 2025, Valve will debut its first non-Valve Steam PCs in partnership with Lenovo. Xbox's Jason Ronald will also be there, possibly to talk about third-party OEM consoles being fully backed by the Xbox brand.
Yeah.
The Steam OS is much more advantageous for gaming handhelds or a console form factor, and Valve's Steam Box in today's gaming space. And Microsoft and Xbox's platform requires much more customization and tinkering to have full integration from third-party gaming devices. This is where the universal Xbox dashboard comes into play. There are rumors that Xbox is working on a universal Xbox dashboard, which will finally bring it into next generation with a unified UI and touchscreen or controller supported system that will be perfect for handhelds, desktop PCs, and console devices, which would be perfect for the rumored third-party OEM consoles. Picture this: Samsung or Razer, major hardware manufacturers, Lenovo, Dell, could make their own bespoke Xbox-style console that will fully support SteamOS, but most importantly, this Xbox dashboard. The same exact dashboard experience you'd get on console carried over to a non-Xbox gaming device, meaning all of your achievements, your progress, your friends and parties, capturing methods, and most importantly, the entitlement of your game purchases on Xbox console would directly come over. A Samsung console with full integration of Xbox means that your new Xbox-style console would play nearly every PC game available across multiple storefronts, but most importantly, bring over every single Xbox game you can play right now on an Xbox console, which includes over 4,000 backward-compatible titles, all without repurchasing them on PC storefronts.
So you kind of see the method there. You wouldn't have to get it again on PC. Whatever you bought there is going to be available. You don't have to buy it twice. That's why people like the Xbox Access Anywhere, because with that, you could just continue playing on PC. Now they're trying to fully integrate that now completely, so everything could just be like that. I actually think that that's an amazing idea, and that is the future. You're trying to make gaming better and more available across more options rather than locking it there and being greedy and make people purchase it again. It would just be better if you did that. They make enough money to begin with, so yeah, so that's another cool thing.
The best part of all this, since it's a Steam-based or Windows Xbox-based console, not even created by Xbox, is that it would also support 50-some flagship PlayStation exclusives that are now available on PC platforms.
And by the time that comes out, think about this. This will be coming out in a few years. Imagine how many more PS5 games will be there and whatever PS4 games. They're all going to be there day one. So you kind of get the idea here. This is an amazing strategy, and I cannot see them not doing this. I think that they have to do this.
This means you can play all of your favorite games, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation, on an Xbox-like console connected to your TV with your favorite controller. Jez Corden goes on to explain that despite minor variances of the Xbox and PlayStation platforms, they are virtually identical. Both are based on x86 architecture AMD chips that diverge almost arbitrarily. He says that as costs in general rise and new users into the gaming ecosystem flatline, the ability to grow margins and deliver for stakeholders becomes constrained. Another potentially less self-destructive way developers could save money is porting games between systems, even if that can be more streamlined. Jez says in essence, it's his prediction that the next Xbox consoles will essentially be more PC-like than ever before. Xbox's CEO Phil Spencer has hinted as much when he described a desire to bring third-party stores like Epic, GOG, and Steam to Xbox consoles. You can't really achieve that, Jez says, if the console itself can't run Win32 Windows game packages natively.
Yeah.
The best part about a third-party OEM console like from Samsung, Lenovo, or Dell means that the game console can be much more powerful. It can be even less constrained from the normal price point. Right now, the price point for consoles is somewhere around $600 or $700, looking into next generation thanks to PlayStation and Xbox's price point right now. Next generation, a console from a company like Samsung could be in the range of $1,000, but be much more powerful and more capable for games, giving your hardware much more longevity, especially with very demanding game engines right now.
So he's thinking that, but even if Phil Spencer said he doesn't want to sell Xbox consoles at 1,000, so they're not going to do that. But could there possibly be those higher end OEMs from other partners that they're partnering with that could probably have that option and probably give you something on the more higher end specs? That's possible. But will like the other Xboxes? No. So that's why I said there's going to be multiple models. So get ready for that and get ready for a different brand. So if you guys are thinking that's only going to be the option, that's not true. So just, know that now.
The new Xbox console and even future hardware with new GPUs and OEM third-party consoles would be subsidized in power with new AI graphics cores built into the hardware. This means more performance, higher frame rates, and higher resolutions without building a $2,000 or $3,000 desktop PC. But it's the games that are most important, especially for people who want to sit down with a gaming style console or a desktop or handheld. And Jez Corden explains that the Xbox Play Anywhere initiative, the ability to play all your games back and forth with cross-save and progression on Windows PC and over to Xbox, needs to become an industry standard for games being ported to Windows. There are hundreds of games that support Play Anywhere, but this is a feature that Xbox needs to lean back into, which will make cross-entitlement across all of these devices ubiquitous. Jez hopes that for at least the next-gen systems, Microsoft will drop the anachronistic paywall for premium multiplayer games. He says it would make absolutely zero sense if you could run the Epic Store on the Xbox and then be asked to pay to play online. Dropping the paywall for next-gen might also encourage existing Xbox users to upgrade to a greater cadence than we've seen between the Xbox One and Series X and S generation. Jez says if this shiny new Xbox device is a PC, then it needs to behave like one, both for consumers and developers. And for manufacturers, Jez says, for that matter, given Rohan Sohn's expertise, you'd have to assume that this Windows-like Xbox ecosystem would also lend itself to a licensing model. Manufacturers like Lenovo, Asus, and others that are building SteamOS gaming devices would also be able to build their own Xbox OS gaming devices. For Microsoft, Jez explains, this would solve their global footprint issue when it comes to distributing hardware. Jez explains that Microsoft is poor when it comes to marketing and representing its products with retailers outside of the US. What if you could get Samsung?
It is true. It's a problem. It's a worldwide brand. Sony and Nintendo don't have that issue. This could help them out too. And I think that it's smart to partner up, drop your ego, and realize that you need help from other OEMs, and let's do this that way to make your handheld appear more. That's going to be hybrid OEMs, and same thing with the consoles. So this just solves a lot of issues.
To promote their own Xbox hardware locally in Korea. What if you could get an Asus Xbox promoted in Taiwan? Microsoft could keep the spec recommendations tight to ensure consistency for console consumers who expect things to, quote, just work, while also having OEMs develop devices and price points that perhaps have stronger regional appeal. Jez Corden also focuses on some of the concerns that fans would have, saying it's not impossible that consumers wouldn't just wholesale reject these ideas, particularly if executed poorly. The big fear in the Xbox community is that we'll end up losing access to our digital games if Microsoft isn't able to protect the current hardware ecosystem. Encouraging users to engage with Xbox on devices that aren't attached to the Xbox ecosystem means if people want to buy the next generation official Xbox console, would they still get all of the games if the official Xbox console got less support? Jez says if Microsoft does execute on this vision, it could totally change the games industry and ensure Xbox's long-term hardware future. The future is increasingly becoming less platform or especially plastic console reliant, in an era where franchises could live or die if they do not see enough customers, especially when restricted to one console.
That's correct. Only Nintendo can do this because they're still doing god-tier numbers, but it's out of this damn world. They're the only ones that can do that. That's why even when they said one of them are going to survive next gen, it was either PlayStation or Xbox. They didn't put Nintendo in there because they know they can do that. They're the masters of the console industry. But which I thought that was stupid, thinking only one is going to survive. No, who's going to be in trouble and who needs to realize that they need to stop locking games away is Sony. And that's why you have Square not doing it, Capcom not doing it. You see it, right? And other aspects who tried, they only get like 3 months. They're not doing that anymore. They want to be available everywhere. Even the president that now appeared at Sony and they got rid of Jim Ryan is realizing we at least got to get on PC and mobile. Like, we got to expand out. And I guarantee you, you go see Sony games go to the Nintendo Switch too. They have to, because it's about saying, as a publisher, I sold this much and my community's this big, crossplay. That other stuff's not going to work anymore. And people are now fighting back against it and saying, we don't want to support that. And that's good. You guys should keep doing that. Put them in that corner. That's why Nintendo Switch 2 is going to come and spank them again like the Switch 1 did. You see, because that needed to happen. That's the only way somebody can get better and get out of their ego. Because if not, you're just over supporting that behavior, and that's not good. You know? So I like what I'm seeing here. And I can't wait for the Switch 2 to come back around the corner. And it's good to see Intel come on the market too, because that means NVIDIA will be forced to drop some of their prices along with AMD, who's not as expensive. But the thing is that, like, this is why you want healthy competition, just for that reason. So we're seeing this here, right?
The future is bigger games being available to millions and millions of players.
Yes.
And Xbox has more studios and franchises than any other console platform competitor. And they can leverage this power by making their games available.
Well, they had to monopolize for that. I'd still say Nintendo is it's where it's at for that. But I get what he means, though. It's not bad necessarily if you're thinking about that as a gamer, because they're going to benefit you not only on their console but across other devices to play that with a service day one. That's why I like, because at least I know they have the money to do it, but still at the end of the day, they're still benefiting you by doing that. Their monopoly is not screwing you over, it's benefiting you. And if they're going to make that more available and they're paying those developers instead of them having to wait for sales, they still got their money and they still can continue. At the end of the day, because they have the money, they can do that, and they're making the right decisions by doing that. So that's why I'm not against them doing that. The only people that would be are PlayStation fanboys, the people in the PlayStation world. I promise you, you will not see anybody else complaining about that. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Available to nearly everyone as long as they buy it from Xbox. The future of several Xbox consoles having choice to play one or your favorite manufacturer, maybe Samsung or Razer or even Steam. This provides a more exciting gaming future than ever before. The power of your purchase and the prospect of playing however you want, not being limited by power provided by an outdated piece of plastic, makes next generation seem more exciting than ever before.
So yeah, that's pretty much that. Good video, Colt. I like what he does. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Glad to cover this. This is a more updated version of the video I got yesterday. It's interesting that, like, he comes out with this and there's even more information to look at and just show some other things. And I like what I see here, and I feel very excited about this. I hope that this is not something that's not going to happen. But for the most part, I think that this is the way. And Xbox gamers who's been suffering and sticking with them for a while, don't worry, y'all going to be eating. And things are still great to begin with. So don't let those ponies get to you. Gaming is good. Stick around and stick with them, and it's going to pay off. Like I said, I own a high-end gaming PC right here. I got my this black and gold that I use right here. Hold on a second. Let me get up and move around so that I can grab some of this other stuff. Where the hell is my Switch controller at? Oh, here we go. I always show this to people so that they could see that I always support everything. Here we go. Where the hell's that at? That's my PlayStation controller right there. My Nintendo Switch. I got another Xbox controller over there. And this is the PC that I'm using right here. I run as you guys see, some of my PC stuff is right there. I use all the stuff, GOG, all the stuff they're talking about, Steam, Game Pass. I run a dual monitor setup right here. My other monitor right here, as you see, 2160p 4K monitor. And this is my OLED monitor right here. RTX 4070 in there. Ryzen 9 Zen 4 CPU going up to 5.3 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of 6400 megahertz RAM. Yeah, this thing doesn't play any games. And I'll be upgrading again in a few years, but right now it's pretty good. But there we have it. All right, y'all. Enjoy y'all's day. Great news here. Peace.